Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Core 52. My name is Raquel Martinez, and I'm the Connections Pastor here at Aldersgate. This week, we have Gabby Martinez joining us, and she's the owner here at Aldersgate. This week in our Core 52 series, we are on week 28 on the topic of faith. When I originally started reading this chapter, I thought it was going to be about faith in the ways that we tend to want tangible things to believe that the Lord is real. And that is not where Mark goes with in this book. Mark associates faith more with obedience and the things that the Lord calls us out to do because we have faith in him. And he uses the word loyalty and allegiance and says that the Lord requires that of us. So for Gabby, for you were called out a couple of years ago to be a missionary in another country. And so in order for you to be able to do that, you had to have some form of faith in the Lord in order to be obedient to step out into that. Can you walk us through a little bit about how that worked for you?
Yeah. So, it's really hard to step out into those things sometimes whenever the Lord is asking us to do hard things. And so when he did ask me, I was like, we're not doing this.
Absolutely.
But, he just constantly reassured me, and he was just constantly making me aware that he was going to be with me through it all and that I could lean on him through the easy times and the hard times, but more so the hard times. And so definitely just being obedient and just knowing that he means what he says and that I can lean on him.
Reflecting back on your time when you were there, are there times that you can remember that had you not had that relationship with the Lord, you would have been like, I just can't do this anymore. Like you had to have faith to be able to sustain, to say, this is where I'm called to be. This is where I need to be for this season. And without the Lord, you knew you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, so definitely having that relationship with him and remembering his promises to me and remembering that I can go to him and I can cry to him and I can tell him that things are hard and I want to go home. But, he was constantly reassuring me that I got this and that I have him and that he's always going to come through with his promises.
Well, one of the things that Mark talks about in the book is he talks about the story of Abraham and how Abraham, he asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. And because Abraham believed so much in the Lord, he was willing to do that because he had faith that the Lord was going to follow through with his promises. Are there any areas in your life that you feel like the Lord has called you to be faithful and ask something of you and you were just like, okay, I'm going to do this because I believe in who you are and I believe that the promises you have for me are true? Are there any other areas in your life that you have like that?
Yeah, I think definitely switching my major in school. I was sure that I was going to go into school and major in elementary education, but he switched it around a year in, and I fought him on it for a really long time because I was like, I don't want to do social work, but realizing and just, journaling and praying and just talking and having conversations with him, he was constantly just reassuring me that social work is where I needed to be. And so now I'm going to finish school in that.
Well, I think that's awesome. I think it's funny that you wrestle with the Lord because I don't. I'm very obedient. I'm just joking. I really am not. I will wrestle with the Lord tooth and nail about everything because I think that sometimes I struggle with faith and believing that his promises are there for me. But when I can get alone with him and just spend some time with him, he's there to reassure me and remind me. And he says in James, faith without work is dead. And so it's very important for us to remember that we are called into, as Christians, we are called into believing and being loyal to him. And because of that, we have work to do. And so Mark says in the book that one of the things we should be asking ourselves is, what's next? What can I be doing next? And so I would encourage you, and I would encourage you guys who are watching to ask yourself, what's next for me? Where's the Lord calling me to step out in faith and be obedient to him? Share those stories with us. We'd love to hear where the Lord is calling you, how you've stepped out in obedience because of who the Lord is in you. We'll see you next week.